My name is Carol, and I am a long-term Hill District resident. And my story is about my grandmother's home that she brought in the early 1940s. To begin, my grandmother was fortunate enough to buy a home in the Hill District, and her story began when she lived in Homestead and her husband worked for the mills. Her husband had passed away. My grandmother didn't qualify any longer for the public housing. Basically, she had 2 small children at the time, and she also worked as a waitress at a well-known Italian restaurant in Homestead. So when the owner found out what happened, of course she was staying with relatives just to, get by. He told her that he had a home in the Hill District that she can work and for him and pay it off in time. And it was located in the Hill District, the Upper Hill, and what we also know now as Sugar Top. So at a very young age, my grandmother was able to buy a home off of a private seller at the time when a lot of African Americans and colored people in general, as my grandmother always said, were able to buy a home. And so that's what my grandmother did. She moved to the Hill and moved into the house. But the funny story is she had relatives that lived in the Lower Hill as well. Well, they moved in before she did. So because she was the first homeowner in her family, and it soon became a boarding house, a house for relatives, and then we all grew up in the house. And I have siblings that actually, we grew up in the house and we still stay there currently today. We had so many good times there, regardless of what was going on. I remember there was 20 of us, close to maybe 25 at sometimes, staying in the home at the same time. We had to share the bathroom and share the kitchen and share everything, but everybody in the house knew their place. The house also had a big yard, which a lot of people enjoyed through the years. My grandmother had a beautiful garden at one time. Their neighbor next door built a brick barbecue grill pit that is still there. We have had, even my sister got married in the yard. So it's just wonderful to know that we were blessed so long ago. We didn't even know how that blessing was going to even reach me as a second generation, because so many generations have lived in that home, and now we still live in the home. My grandmother also worked at the time. She ended up paying off her home from her one job when she was the waitress, but she also had a everyday job, which was People's Bank, which we know as PNC Bank. And how that story went, she got the job and then they decided not to hire her. And so when she, of course, was disappointed, she went to what was called, I guess it was Crawford Grill number 2, because there was several Crawford Grills. And when the people at the grill found out, they boycotted People's Bank, and then she got hired, and then she ended up working there for many years and retired there. And what she did there was she was a messenger, and she took bonds to every bank around Pittsburgh. And it's very, very, it was a very rewarding job for her, because she would always say, I get to carry this kind of money around and they don't bother me, nobody's gonna bother me. The bank trusts me because they wouldn't think that a colored woman was carrying that kind of money in her purse. And so, long story short, my grandmother passed away in 2010. And I remember on her deathbed, we all gathered around her. And of course, you know, we had talked about the memories and the good times that we had at the house. And on her deathbed, she said, I want y'all to always keep my shack and to remember we ain't buying nothing and we ain't selling nothing. And we still say that till today. Thank you.